Assalamu alaikum friends, and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we're gonna just chat a little bit about baby and toddler sleep, or the lack of it here. I'm gonna be sharing with you how I went from breastfeeding all night long, like literally without pretty much even letting go of the breast, to not nursing. It's just really me sharing our journey with our son, and of course every child is different, every family is different, every situation is different, but if you can pick up some tips from here and there from what I've done, then that's great. So a little bit of a background: we've always been breastfeeding and bed sharing family, pretty much from the beginning. I believe maybe about 3 first months we slept with our child. His crib was like car sighted to our bed, and I would nurse him and I would put him down, and we did that for about 3 months. But he was waking up many times a night to the point where it was just too exhausting for me. So I was just like, you know what, let's just get him in our bed. So I would just let him fall asleep on the breast in bed, and then eventually he would unlatch and then again latch on, and that would just, you know, again, it didn't make his sleep any better, if that makes sense. Like, he would still wake up a ton at night, but at least it wasn't an effort that I had to make to get out of bed, pick him up, nurse him, wait, put him down, you know, all that. So at least it was like, here you go, and we both go back to sleep. So that was kind of a working for us. That's why I guess we kept it for about a year. So that was going on for about a year, until we were like, okay, you know what, enough is enough. The reason why we chose to stop breastfeeding him at night is because we felt like it's making his sleep really bad. Like, none of us really were getting any sleep. He wasn't getting any sleep, neither were my husband and I. So we decided that if we did some research as well, so we decided that if we wean him off from night feedings, he will hopefully break that association that he needs to nurse at night, and hopefully that will help him sleep better at night. I was reading a lot of stories of women who weaned their children off breastfeeding at night, and their children would just magically start sleeping through the night within like a week or two. Our expectations weren't that high. Of course, if it happened, then voila, like amazing, alhamdulillah. But our experience is that it did not happen, and I think it's because my son is a very poor sleeper. Like, you can get to really good sleepers and you can get to really poor sleepers. My son had never slept through the night, ever. Now he's almost 16 months, and he's a very sensitive sleeper. That's just something to know, just in case, you know, you're comparing your child with mine. So we made a decision that we want to wean him off the night feedings completely, but at the same time we still want to continue bed sharing with him, or at least co-sleeping. We actually I wanted more space for myself. I wanted him, again, just to sort of car side his crib to our bed and him sleep there on his side most of the night, so that I can actually move in bed. For me, this whole year experience of him bed sharing and breastfeeding all night long was physically very draining, because I literally could not move. My shoulder was just permanently broken. My arm would be like this. The baby would sleep here, my arm always like that. I can't move on my back, I can't move on my front. I have to be on my side all night long. Super uncomfortable, as you can imagine. So that's why I needed my space. I needed to be able to roll, and you know. And another reason why we decided to do it is because his sleep would be so poor that once I nurse him to sleep, he wakes up 30 minutes later, like on the dot. Like, not 35 minutes, not 40 minutes, 30 minutes on the dot. You just know exactly the moment he's gonna wake up, right? So the first half an hour would be okay-ish sleep. But imagine this: he falls asleep, say at 8 o'clock. It takes about 15 minutes for him to get into like a deep sleep, for me to be able to unlatch and roll out of bed, right? And then he wakes up 15 minutes later. So really what I have is 15 minutes time after my baby goes to bed. It's just barely enough time for me to use the bathroom, brush my teeth, run downstairs, and in the middle of me doing the dishes, he would wake up and start screaming for me. So I would go back up, nurse him again. Again, it would take maybe 15 minutes, but most likely after that second time he falls asleep, he sleeps so sensitively that I cannot even unlatch. So I decided that enough is enough. I need my space in bed. I need my time in the evenings. He needs better sleep. All of us need better sleep, and we need to do something, because he was just milk thirsty 24/7. Like, he would never say no to milk. And also another thing is that just to kind of keep in mind, I knew that he's ready in terms of milk because, first of all, he was eating a lot better in the daytime. Like, he would eat a lot. I would not even have much milk by that time, and I know that because I do express milk at work, so I can see it decreasing dramatically every single week, to the point where at the time that I decided to wean him off night feedings, I would make maybe like literally drops, just barely at the bottom of milk after like 6 hours of not feeding him. So it's really like, I've dried up, he's not getting any milk anyway, he's eating good at night, he's over a year old. I was like, you know, he's ready, I'm ready, let's do it. I was reading a lot of approaches, some of them ranging from cry it out, leave your baby in a crib, close the doors, never walk back in, to something in between, to really gentle approaches where basically leave your child wean himself when they're like 3-4 years old. And I was like, you know, why is waiting until he's 3 years old? Nope, not in this house. So now the juicy bit, what we actually done. What we decided to do is for me to remove myself from equation altogether. Till that time, my husband was not really able to help me with Iman at night at all, because Iman would not want any comfort from me or my husband. All he wanted was at nighttime. At that stage at nighttime, he would not accept any cuddles from my husband. He would only want the breast. So basically, if I'm in bed and my husband's in bed, there's no way in the world that he would have chose my husband for a cuddle. He would come for a breast. Just, you know, it's natural. They would just want the best that they can get. So that is how we knew that if we are not leaving any choice for Iman but to sleep with the dad, he would have to just accept that eventually. So for about 4 or 5 nights, I think for 4 nights, I came to sleep downstairs. And if you are a mom and you're in a similar situation like I am, believe me, those 4 nights were like the best nights since he was born. Like, I've actually had full night's sleep. Okay, so now exactly what we did. I would do his nighttime routine the way I normally do. At 8 o'clock, around 8 o'clock, I would give him the breast in bed, just how I normally would. I would nurse him to sleep and then remove myself to go downstairs. I would do some dishes, quickly tidy up. 30 minutes later, of course on a dot, he's up and screaming. Then I'm going back in, and I would not nurse him. I would first try to lay down next to him and be like, shh, shh, shh. But all he would want to do is to come and scream bloody murder, grab my shirt, put his hands in it, and just, you know, just really, really, really upset and just wanting to nurse. Then I would start saying things to him like, you know, Iman, we don't nurse at nighttime. We nurse when the sun is up and it's bright outside. Because by that time, he already can understand. Actually, another thing is that about maybe like a week before we started this process, I actually started telling him that we nurse in the daytime, we nurse when it's bright, when we don't nurse at nighttime when it's dark. So I started telling him but not doing it, and then eventually we started doing it. So yeah, so the first few nights were like that. I'm nursing him to sleep. After 30 minutes, I'm going back in. I'm trying to calm him down, so maybe I would give him 5 minutes to settle, and of course he wouldn't. Then I would lift him up, I would carry him around, I would go in the rocking chair. To my surprise, it took about 15 minutes the very first night, very first wake up without nursing, and he went back to sleep. I think I was carrying him around and a bit bouncing him and shushing him, but he fell asleep with no nursing. Then I waited about 10 minutes, I laid him down very carefully. I was able to do that, which again is amazing, and I think it's because I didn't nurse that actually was able to lay him down without him waking up. Then again I came downstairs, again 30 minutes later, again he's screaming, I'm going back in. The reasons why it was me going back in was because my husband comes from work very late. He comes home about 11 or 12 at night. So between 8 o'clock in the evening until say 12 o'clock at night, for 4 hours, I had to improvise. I had to do everything that I could do. And then when he came at 12 o'clock, that's when he would take over until morning. But if you are thinking to do similarly what we've done, and your husband is home by the time that your child is going to bed, then by all means, like, just nurse him or her and leave, and let your husband deal with every single wake up until the morning. Another thing that it's important is that you have a bottle or a sippy cup with water next to you. You have to, you know, pick up a notch and go in the rocking chair and just walk with him. But eventually he started to accept him and started to sleep with him. By the time that it was about 4th night, Iman was easily falling asleep with me when I would go upstairs to calm him down again, and he was easily falling asleep with my husband. We wouldn't even have to go in the rocking chair. I would just pretty much lay with him and be like, it's okay, mommy's here, mommy's here. I would not even need to pick him up by the 4th or 5th night. Then around 5th night, I came back upstairs, but we decided that my husband should sleep next to him. So it'd be like Iman, my husband in the middle, and me on the edge. So we slept like that, because we didn't want Iman to be able to see me those first few nights, in case he will remember that, oh, you know, I can get nursing now. So like that we slept for about 2 to 3 nights. So I was there, I was hearing all his wake ups, but then my husband would settle him. And I think it was 6th or 7th night, an absolute miracle happened. So it wasn't evening time, it was around 7-8 o'clock, about the time that I put him to sleep. I did what I do normally, did his nighttime routine. I took him to bed, ready to nurse him. I laid him in his crib. I lay next to him because our crib is car-sided, so it doesn't have one of the sides. So I'm lying there with him, letting him sort of get used to his crib. That's what I normally do. Give him about 5 minutes just to kind of get used to his crib, walk a little bit in it, sit in it, talk to himself, do whatever he wants. So I did that. Normally at that stage, all he wants is to breastfeed. So he normally comes and starts just climbing on me. But for some reason, that night, he didn't seem interested in nursing. I don't want to say he didn't want to nurse, because I'm sure if I offered him, he would have taken it. But he didn't seem like he is that interested. I wasn't offering him either at that point. I just was lying there. And then I just said to him, okay, come here, lay down with mama. And he came and he just lay down with me. And I was like shushing him and telling him stories and sang songs to him. It took about an hour that night, but he fell asleep. He didn't ask for nursing, he was cuddled, he felt loved, he didn't cry, and he just fell asleep. And I just remember thinking, alhamdulillah, like, that's absolutely amazing. From where we were to that point, he never fell asleep by himself. After that, it was, for me, was a sign that that's it. He's capable of it. He can totally do it. And even if he, say, cries next, and which he did, the following night he cried a little bit, but I didn't give in. I was like, no, I know you're capable of it. There's absolutely no way that I'm taking a step back. And that's, I think, what's the most important thing. Don't take that step back, because that's the worst thing you can do for yourself and for your child. It's to change the rules again. You know, you are always already implementing something new, you're implementing new rules, you're breaking old habits, and for you to then suddenly go back because you're tired or because you feel like it's not working, it's the worst. You have to persevere. Once you decide that that's what's best for our family, you don't look back, you just keep on going. So although the next few nights were a little bit more rough, like he would get up and he would try to cry a little bit, all it means is just I would have to maybe lift him a little bit, shush, 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 again lay him down, again touch him, sing a song and all that. So I felt very comfortable with this method because I felt like he's never abandoned, he's never alone, he's never lonely, he feels loved, he feels safe, he feels secure, but he's not getting nursing. Nourishment, liquid, comfort, but it's good to have a bottle of water just in case they actually are thirsty. So yeah, so that's what we've done, and that is how he falls asleep now. And now the difference is quite huge. He now sleeps for 3 hours at a time, minimum 2 hours. Maximum he slept was 5 hours, like straight, and that was fantastic. I know that for some of you that, you know, your babies maybe slept through the night at 3 months, which is great, fantastic. It's a great sleeper. My child isn't a great sleeper, so for him to even sleep 5 hours straight is an amazing accomplishment. And for me, it's fantastic because now I can put him to sleep easily. I can remove myself immediately because I don't have to wait for him, for me to be able to unlatch him, because he's obviously not nursing. So I have that time to come downstairs. I can clean, I can decorate, I can watch a movie, I can have a cup of tea with chocolate. I can do things for myself and for my home. And then when he wakes up, all I do is just, I go back up, I say, "Mommy's here, shush, shush, shush," and he goes right back to sleep. He only wakes up and cries because he wants to make sure I'm there if I'm downstairs. But if I'm already up there sleeping with him, which that's how we sleep at night, I would just sleep, and if he wakes up, I would just maybe put my hand on him or just show myself like, "I'm here, it's okay." He would just go back to sleep. So really all he needs is just that reassurance that he's not alone. Inshallah, I'll be making a video on how we nap, wean him, and wean him all together of breastfeeding, because I watch these videos a lot because I find a lot of reassurance, inspiration, and ideas from these videos. I hope that you got something from this video as well, and I'll see you in my next video. Okay, bye. Assalamu alaikum.